Hi everybody, welcome back to the Teeny Tinkers channel. I make ball jointed doll and craft related content. Today I thought I would introduce a tag from Lavily Day in the past, and I thought it would be really fun to create my own. And the theme of my tag is highs and lows. So I have 8 questions with the theme high and low based on our favorite little dollies over here. So let's get started. Question number 1. What doll is highest on your Grail list? So right now, the most wanted doll that I don't already have on the way or on layaway or whatever is a doll more Mio. I'm talking about the 3rd scale size one. There is one in a 1/4 scale, I think. I might be wrong. But the 3rd scale one is definitely top of my Grail list. She would be my first 3rd scale doll, and I will be saving up and waiting until next year to get her because, as I mentioned in a previous video, I'm on a doll spending freeze as far as buying the dolls themselves. So yeah. Question number 2. What is the highest moment and the lowest moment you've had in the hobby? So the highest moment for me was when I got my first doll. Not my first doll, but my first MSD size doll. So I bought her on the secondhand market and she was beat up. So she had a broken neck connector. She was covered in tattoos that had been painted on, I believe with acrylic paint. She was very messy, and I had never done any kind of customization before. So taking the time and being able to clean her with like a nail polish remover and then soap and water and sand her down, buff her out, repaint her, do her body blushing, reseal her, and just have her be this like cute little cherub. And this is my mini fee Chloe. Her name is Molly. And that was probably one of the highest moments in the hobby for me, just because I felt really accomplished. I learned how to do something. It was a lot of fun. And the before and after pictures were just like, oof, oof. And I felt so good about it. As for the lowest moment in the hobby, about a month ago now, I have 2 young daughters, and they love my dolls. They are obsessed. They play with them all the time, and they typically play very gently, and they wash their hands and all kinds of things. So I do let them play gently with them in the diorama that I have set up. They're not allowed to take them around the house. They're not allowed to have them in their rooms. And so they have a lot of rules with them, which makes me feel like a butt, but also they're very expensive dolls. So they were playing with my mini Fiorina, who is probably one of my top 4 favorite dolls. And her hand magnets are kind of weak because she's a little bit older. And one of her hands came off, and my older daughter didn't know this, and she accidentally leaned on it. And 2 of the fingers, these 2 fingers on this hand, snapped off. And I had to use a clear epoxy glue. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Is that going to focus? So it's not as bad, but you can see it's a bit shiny where I had to glue them back. Honestly, I was just glad that they broke off pretty cleanly and I was able to glue them. But there's like forever going to be these cracks. And I remember my younger daughter brought her into the room and she was like, "Oh, Mom, something happened." And I was like, "Okay, like what happened?" And she hands me the hand and the fingers, and it was like a I'm gonna cough because that was such a sharp inhale. But I literally almost cried, but I didn't want them to feel bad because it's like they knew when it was an accident, but I really wanted to cry and I just felt so bad. And so I had to pull my older daughter and be like, you can tell me when this happens and you need to be so careful, and on and on and on. And that's unfortunately one of the things about having kids is the things you love sometimes get broken. I was able to fix her in this case, but her resale value is definitely lower now. Whoa, goodbye. Question number 3. What is the highest amount of dolls you would ever consider having? this changes for me. So originally I had said, oh, I'll always have like 2 or 3. And at this time I was collecting Pookie Fee size dolls, like 8th scale. And I said, I'll never have more than 2 or 3, and they'll just live in this like little room box I built on my desk. It's just like a fun thing to fiddle with while I work, because I work from home. Okay. And then I started collecting MSDs, and it became, I'll never have more than 10. 10 seems like a lot. It'd be like 1 shelf worth, and I'm good. Now I'm like, I have 16. That's a lot. I will probably downsize to 15 and keep it at that at some point. But then I think, oh, but I love a lot of my dolls. I mean, I love all of my dolls, but I love some dolls more than others. Everyone has favorites. But I always think, which ones would I downsize? Like, who would I get rid of? And then if I see, the thing is, if one of my Grail dolls is my brain does this. One of my Grail dolls is a 3rd scale Minifee, or a 3rd scale Mio, Dalmore Mio. And then I think, oh, well, she needs a friend. She needs, well, 2, you know, like, so I don't know. I'm thinking when I get into SD size, I'm going to limit myself to 2, and I'm going to keep everything else where it is. I don't need any more dolls. I might actually lose one of my USDs. I'm thinking my Mia doll Sue might be leaving the family. But yeah, my hair's really irritating. Sorry. Question 4. What is the highest and lowest quality purchase that is not a doll? So accessories, clothes, wigs, eyes, whatever, that you've ever purchased. So I think my highest quality purchase, or the purchase that I felt, I guess, the best about, was my ball jointed soulmates order. I believe I made 2 orders, but they're the clothes that my dolls wear the most. When I saw them, I love them so much. I'm honestly just waiting for them to get more stock and different things, because I do have like all of the things I actually like from their store. But I was super happy with that purchase. And if you haven't checked them out, like, go to Etsy, ball jointed soulmates. They're so good. The shipping's really fast, and the lady is really sweet. Like, she's just a sweetheart. The lowest quality purchase was I ordered, okay, so I was going to do this whole video. Most of my dolls have new wigs, and these are actually mostly Kemper wigs. Kemper? At least his is and hers is. But I had ordered 2 packages of wigs. One was from Kemper Doll Emporium, and they're great. I loved them. But the larger amount of wigs I had ordered from a place more local to me. The website, the prices were really good, and the wigs looked really nice. And then when I got them, I was so excited. I set up my camera. They smelled really bad. Like, there was like a musty, old smell to them. Nowhere on the listings did it say that clothing was used or old or whatever. It didn't say that. The only thing I purchased from there that said that they were possibly used were a bag of wigs that were seconds. So it was like random wigs thrown in a bag for like $5 or something. So I know I can't have expected much, but they came and they had glue in them, which is like, okay, fine, they're used. But also there was like dust and stuff in the hairs, and the smell was really bad. Like, it was just such a bad smell. Question number 5. How do you feel about a doll lowering in value? Okay, for me, I just put this question in because I would like to hear what your answers are. But for me, my dolls are, I don't look at them as an investment. They make me really happy. I feel good when I play with them. They're really nice to look at. I don't worry too much about depreciation for my dolls. So I think that it's like the same way that homes are meant to be lived in and not just looked at. My home is never going to look like a show model home. It can look nice, but it's not going to be like perfect and pristine. And that's kind of how I feel about my dolls. Like, if they're played with, they're probably going to get, like, their body blushing is going to chip or whatever. They might eventually get scratches. If they're like Stella, they might lose some fingers. Stuff like that happens. And I feel like being like uptight about the possibility of something breaking. If I was going to feel that way and feel stressed like that all the time, I wouldn't enjoy the hobby as much. So for me, I don't really care about what they say. Okay, no, JoJo Siwa moment. Sorry, I'm a mom. But also, yeah, if they depreciate, they depreciate. It is what it is. They're worth the money for the amount of play I get out of them. Yeah. Question number 6. I'm doing the fingers, sorry. But yeah, question number 6 is, what is time-wise? What is a high time hobby week and a low time hobby week for you? So on my heavy hobby weeks, we'll call them that, I probably either dress up or sew, knit, photography, or make these videos like an hour a day. So I would say that's like a 7 to 8 hour hobby week, and that would be like a busy week for me. Oh wait, there's also editing, because editing would count, right? Because it's for this channel. Okay, let's say 8 to 10 hour week would be a busy hobby week or a high hobby week for me. And a low hobby week would be 0. I don't always take dolls with me when I go away. I usually actually don't, but there are times when I don't play with them for like a week, but then the next week tends to be like a crazy high hobby week. So I do definitely get play out of them, but I don't feel like I have to pressure myself to play with them. Like that would be weird. So yeah, I guess between 0 and 10 hours a week would be, I guess, like about where I am. Question number. This shirt is, does anyone else have this problem with button-ups? Like you have to be like flat-chested or wear a sports bra. Ugh. Anyways, question number 7 is, what is the highest level skill you have in the hobby and the lowest level skill? For me, my highest level skill is my knitting. I love to knit. I'm pretty good at it. I knit pretty much all of my dolls' knitwear except for a handful of things I got from Etsy. But I'm I'm pretty good at knitting. I don't want to say very good at knitting because I'm not out here like, I'm pretty good. If there's something I wanted, I could probably knit it. I'll toot my own horn for a minute. I'm a good knitter. I used to knit for my kids. I used to knit stuff for like family members and stuff. And now I just knit for dolls because it's small and fast and I like to do it. And yeah, and I like to use the tiny needles and the little yarn and stuff. And my yarn is basically like embroidery thread at this point. So yeah. My lowest skill is wig making. I'm awful at it. I have tried to make so many wigs and they all turn out like weird. I can never get the part right. I've tried the thing where you like make them face each other, like the wefts face each other and then flatten them out. And I can never get the wefts to stay on. I don't know if it's the glue I'm using or like the kinds of hair. I've made yarn wefts, and I've like done the synthetic hair. I can't do it. And my wig caps are always like slightly misshapen. They're never like the way they're supposed to be. So I figure I will just purchase my wigs. It's something I've pretty much accepted I'm not good at. Question number 8 is the last question, and it is, who is your highest or tallest doll and who is your smallest or lowest doll? Right now, my tallest doll is Noah. I'm not exactly sure of her measurements, to be honest, but she's a Doll Chateau kid body, so they're pretty tall and lean to begin with, and a Doll in Mine Lorena head, which are a little bit bigger than like standard quarter scale heads, and she towers over my other dolls. So she's definitely my tallest. My smallest doll is probably my smallest doll is probably my Little Fee Mio. So Little Fees are smaller than I expected them to be. I mean, I could have just checked measurements, but she was my first Little Fee. She is my only Little Fee. And she is the teeniest, tiniest, if you don't count like the weird head I have chilling. If you haven't seen that video in one of my last videos, my wine or drinks and dollies tag, I kind of show off this like terrible hybrid I made. But he's my smallest doll technically, but Yeah, really my smallest real doll is my little Femio. The smallest doll I'm waiting for is Ivana. She's Doll Chateau Ivana, I believe. So Doll Zone, Doll Chateau. Ugh, I'm really bad at this. Is anyone else like really bad at knowing sculpts, like, or knowing brands to sculpts? Like, I just go, oh, it's cute, I'll buy that. I don't know, but she's an 8th scale, and I think she's like 18 or 19 centimeters tall, or maybe 20. But she's the smallest I've got. But I don't have her yet, so yeah. All right, everybody, I hope you like this tag. I would love to see your tags. If you do this tag, please like hashtag me, like in the hashtags, be like hashtag Teeny Tinkers, because then I can find it, and that would be super cool, and I would love to comment and see it. Also, you can comment below if you do this tag and just drop the link, and I will absolutely check it out. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!